watching WTAE TV in Pittsburgh. Honored as the best newscast in Pennsylvania, this is WTAE4 News.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Some sobering crime statistics from the Justice Department tonight. More of us are being hit by violent crime. More than 11 of every 1,000 people over age 12 were victims of violent crimes last year. That's 2.3 million Americans, an increase of almost 3.5%. Aggravated and simple assaults also increased by 6%. But the Justice Department estimates household crimes in which there's no contact between criminal and victim dropped by about 1 million. More than 1,000 demonstrators showed up at the Los Angeles Police Academy today to show their support for Police Chief Daryl Gates. They cheered when Gates repeated his refusal to resign in the wake of a videotape showing LA police officers beating a motorist. Meanwhile, Los Angeles police reportedly are looking for a key witness who says Rodney King resisted arrest early in the incident. Closing arguments are scheduled tomorrow in Martinsburg, West Virginia, in the racketeering and fraud trial of Hare Krishna leader Swami Bhaktapada. The Swami is charged with 5 counts of racketeering, including conspiracy to commit murder for hire, and 6 counts of mail fraud. Testimony in the trial ended last Tuesday. A former Mount Pleasant man has pleaded not guilty to more than 40 counts of child molestation. Police say 26-year-old James Howenchak was arrested at his parents' Mount Pleasant home following a 3.5-month investigation. Charges, including indecent assault and involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, stem from incidents involving 2 teenage boys. Well, 2 local men may owe their lives tonight to a billboard. The men's pickup truck smashed into the billboard after it was hit by a train. Ken Rice has the story.
I didn't see.
Inside this mangled metal, there sat 2 men today. Before the mangling, the men were driving their pickup truck along the CSX train tracks, reportedly looking to collect junk. Then the train came.
It's just amazing, the force.
5,000 ton of train here, you know, hitting a little truck, you know, it's kind of a mismatch.
It shot him like a rocket in that billboard. So if the billboard wasn't there, he'd have been on the street, no problem.
Actually, big problem. The street is a long way down. Rescuers agreed this was a sign of luck. They pulled both the driver, Earl Safried of Wheeling, and passenger Keith Tibble of Homestead out of the passenger side of the truck since little was left of the driver's side. But neither's injuries were major. Crew members say the Newcastle-bound freight train was traveling about 35 miles an hour and coming around a curve had no chance to stop as it approached the pickup.
No reason why he should have been up there. It's as far as I know.
In fact, CSX officials say while the 2 men escaped serious injuries, they won't escape justice. Besides being ill-advised, they say their trip on the tracks was also trespassing. In Greenfield, Ken Rice, WTAE4 News.
Both the driver, Earl Safried of Wheeling, and his passenger, Keith Tibble, were treated at an area hospital and released. None of the train's crew was hurt. Fire officials suspect an electrical problem as the cause of a restaurant fire in Robinson Township. The 4-alarm blaze broke out late this afternoon in the Roslyn Inn on Steubenville Pile. The inn had been closed for nearly a year for renovations and was just about to reopen. There were no injuries reported. A fire broke out in the engine of an Amtrak train heading for Manhattan on the Albany to New York line tonight, forcing evacuation of the train but causing no injuries. Passengers were transported to Grand Central Station by another train. The fire forced the suspension of all Metro North service along the Hudson Line and all Amtrak service into Grand Central Terminal. 162 service workers at Cannonsburg Hospital won't be showing up for work tomorrow morning. They've been working without a contract since March 1st and will begin a 48-hour strike at 6 tomorrow morning. Maintenance, medical records, clerical, and dietary workers say tomorrow they will give official notice of a full-fledged strike to begin on April 4th. There's a controversy brewing in the North Allegheny School District where students have been told only heterosexual couples will be allowed to attend the senior prom. As Ann Leineberger reports, some students are upset, but school officials say the policy isn't meant to discriminate.
The senior prom is something Heather Dosh and Amy Galarno have looked forward to their whole lives. Even though North Allegheny's prom is a couple of months away, they're already talking about it. But the whole school is also talking about the school's policy of allowing only boy-girl couples to attend. students got the word about the new prom policy in a letter mailed to their homes this past week. The students we talked with said they were surprised at the letter and at the use of the word heterosexual to describe couples who will be allowed to attend the prom and the after prom here at the high school.
If they're going to say no single people should go, I think they should say no single people should go. It's heterosexuals. I mean, how do they think people are going to accept it? It's the wrong way to say it.
In fact, Principal Francis Barnes agrees heterosexual was probably the wrong word to use.
Well, there certainly wasn't any malintent in the choice of the word heterosexual. Our intent was to try to maintain a manageable situation and have traditional couples.
Barnes says the policy is not new and it will keep single students from buying tickets together and going stag, which the school worries could be disruptive. Student Brian Purvis says even that is unfair.
I believe it's blatantly discriminatory. I mean, they're telling people, a certain sector of people, that they can't do something.
And for Heather and Amy and many of their classmates, there's also a concern now that the controversy over the prom policy may spoil the prom.
I mean, that's what you look forward to all your high school years, and it's just a shame.
Ann Leineberger, WTAE4 News.
School officials point out that North Allegheny holds a senior banquet each year that was originally designed to give students who don't have a date and can't attend the prom an event to celebrate. Gasoline prices are slightly up nationwide. An industry survey says it reflects anticipated higher demand for the spring driving season. The average price of a gallon of gasoline on March 22nd was just over $1.17. U.S. Treasury Secretary Nicholas Brady does admit that we have some places in the economy now that are weak. But today, he gave a cautious, optimistic opinion on where the economy is headed.
I can't tell you that everything's going to be perfect from here on forward, but I wouldn't say that anything we'd seen in the last 6 months is a reason for pessimism.
Brady says the technology used in the Persian Gulf War is a good example of American ingenuity and long-run worth of the economy. While work continues to heal the economy following war, a group of Pittsburghers moved to heal the spiritual wounds of war. The Pittsburgh Religious Committee for Middle East Peace sponsored a peace pilgrimage this evening. The procession continued through downtown, ending up at Trinity Cathedral for a prayer service and to take up a collection for victims of the war. General Norman Schwarzkopf says the United States is closer than ever to setting up a permanent headquarters on Arab soil, but that doesn't mean U.S. troops would be permanently stationed there. Schwarzkopf says the remaining American forces will leave when a permanent ceasefire is signed. Complicating efforts to settle on a permanent truce are the continuing rebellions in Iraq. In the northern regions, Kurdish rebels appear to have the upper hand, where today nearly 5,000 Kurds staged an anti-Saddam demonstration. More Kuwaitis who spent months in Iraqi prisons are returning home. The Kuwaiti government says more than 1,100 former prisoners of war were scheduled to return home today, bringing the total to 3,600 since the end of the war. In the Soviet Union, TASS is reporting heavy fighting in the Republic of Georgia, where militants in an ethnic dispute have exchanged grenade and rocket fire. 2 towns in the republic's northern region have endured 4 straight days of fighting. Former President Richard Nixon visited the Vilnius Television Center, where Soviet troops killed 14 people in January, and said Lithuanian independence is inevitable. Nixon also emphasized that being pro-Lithuanian does not mean being anti-Soviet. He said it would be in the Soviet Union's interest to have a friendly, independent neighbor. And coming up, a rather expensive project designed to improve weather forecasting, and it is not Frank Cariello, although we think he does a great job.
They're not boosting my salary.
Sorry to give you the news, Frank.
I was excited about that. When you get up tomorrow morning, it'll be no piece of cake either. Been on the cold side, partly cloudy skies. Temperature of 34. I'll have the 7-day forecast just ahead. Stick around.
WTAE4 News salutes the veterans of Operation Desert Storm.
Put away the oily cheddar, baby. You know what I like. Velveeta shreds on my dinner spreads. No cheddar oil dribbling down.
Velveeta shredded cooks up better every time.
Oh, Velveeta, it's what I like.
Share the warmth, share the glow. There's no soup like Progresso. Welcome home, say hello. There's no soup like Progresso.
When you taste Progresso, you know it.
There's no soup quite like it. Progresso has that sunny Italian flavor, a special goodness all its own.
There's no soup like Progresso.
We at WTAE TV and radio and the Salvation Army want to help the families whose loved ones have been called to serve our country. If you are in need of help on the home front, call 800-582-0041.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right thing.
You got the right one.
Baby, you got the right one. There's only one right one, baby. You got the right one, baby.
Think you can sing our song? Send your videotape performance and you could win $10,000 and appear in a Diet Pepsi commercial.
The guy said, Annie, you're a Pop Secret popcorn lover, so you should know we inspect our kernels for quality. I say, this is a strange conversation, but you've got my attention. They said, for example, small kernels don't pop up big enough. Wrong color, they might not pop up at all. Only half the kernels are right for Pop Secret. That's why it always pops up so light and fluffy.
Pop Secret, perfect popcorn is our passion.
I'm developing a passion of my own.
Today marks the beginning of the holiest week in the Christian calendar, Palm Sunday, and the start of the Easter season. Special services are planned at Protestant and Roman Catholic churches between now and Easter Sunday. Today, services such as this one at St. Paul's Cathedral in Oakland were marked with the distribution of palms. The observance marks Jesus' entry into Jerusalem before his death. Well, it's described as an effort to improve weather forecasts. Officials say 65 new weather monitoring buoys will be moored across the Pacific Ocean over the next 2 years. The joint effort by the United States, France, and Japan is expected to cost $2.5 million. Your salary for the year.
They could just
for a lifetime, anyway.
Joe, me, and Susan, and lifesavers.
Water?
Yeah, we can report on
life jackets.
I like that. Our weather is going to be fairly nice. As a matter of fact, from the Pacific, we're getting some very nice air in here. That's going to warm up our temperatures over the next 24 to 48 hours. I really think you're going to like the 7-day forecast. Let's take a look outside. Again, thanks for staying up with us. 57 degrees outside. Relative humidity, rather low, was 40. Normal high, 51. Normal low, 32. That put us about 7 degrees above normal for the day with a 1/10 of an inch of rain. Cloudy skies. Visibility 15 miles. Our current temperature is 42. Humidity 73%. West winds at 16, and our barometer is steady at 29.96 inches of mercury. Now, coast to coast, we do have this low pressure center that is moving off in New England. This is the same low pressure that brought us the 1/10 of an inch of rain, even some sleet mixed in with it earlier this evening. We're waiting for these two areas of high pressure to start building and moving in towards the east. It'll not only clear out our skies, but also warm up our temperatures over the next 24 hours. Take a look at National Weather Service radar from all locations across the nation, and we do see just a little bit of precipitation. Central New York State going into around Milford, Pennsylvania, and off towards Boston. Much of California seeing some rain showers right now. Here in Pittsburgh, we saw quite a bit of wind this morning. Wind gusts up to 53 miles an hour here in the greater Pittsburgh area. And now you see these clouds starting to dissipate right around Toledo to Cincinnati and back over towards the Mississippi River. And the clear skies will be moving into Pittsburgh. As a matter of fact, if you don't believe me, let's take a look at Skywatch 4 National Weather Service radar live out of Greater Pitt. No precipitation to speak of in the Pittsburgh area. I really don't look for any more to develop till sometime on Thursday. Here's why. Those two areas of high pressure will start to move our way with the fair skies and the warmer temperatures. The winds and precipitation will push off the eastern seaboard. Highs today down in the south in the 80s. Very warm. New stormy conditions starting to develop out in the southwestern plains. Now, the winds at 18,000 feet will keep the colder air along the U.S.-Canadian border. Very warm with this ridge in the central plains. Hot tomorrow down along the south with high temperatures in the 90s. As a matter of fact, I really think we're going to start to see some really nice weather here in Pittsburgh. Taking a look at Donardo weather for tonight, here's what you can expect. Decreasing cloudiness, breezy and cooler. The low down to 34 degrees. Now, by tomorrow, one high pressure will be over Atlanta. The second one over Milwaukee. Our skies will clear. We will see some showers and thunderstorms down along the Gulf Coast. Rain and snow showers out to the west of us in the central Rocky Mountains. And that good old sunshine sitting right on top of our neck of the woods. As a matter of fact, We will see fair skies over much of the midsection of the country. It'll be wet starting into the central portion of Colorado late in the day, and some sprinkles down along the southwestern plains. If we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, becoming partly sunny, breezy, and milder. Not a bad day. The high of 53. Then for tomorrow night, fair and seasonal. The low down to 37. Now, by the time Tuesday rolls around, high pressure will still be in charge of our weather. Taking a look at the Tuesday forecast, you can see, well, mostly sunny and warmer conditions. A great day. 66 degrees. Now, if you're planning on heading out to the airport tomorrow, I don't expect any delays. And here's some conditions around the country. Atlanta, 80 and sunny. Baton Rouge, up to 81. The Windy City, 58 degrees with some sunshine. Other locations look like this, folks. If you're going to be heading out into Kansas City, sunny and 75. The Big Apple, 56. And some rain down in what's usually sunny San Diego. High temperature of 59. The rest of the 7-day forecast looks like this. Wednesday, partly sunny skies. What a great day. The high 74 degrees. Showers and storms move in here on Thursday. The high of 65. Rain showers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. High temperatures holding in the low to mid 50s.
Great golfing weather.
Oh, great golfing weather. Too bad I really can't golf that well.
And I don't golf at all. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
The Rangers edge closer to the Pens, but lose 2 players. That story and all the sports coming up next on WTAE4 News.
WTAE4 News salutes the veterans of Operation Desert Storm.
Al Pacino has been nominated 5 times for an Academy Award, but has never won. Will this year be different? On the next Entertainment Tonight, we're taking a look back at the greatest Hollywood legends who were overlooked by Oscar. There's Kirk Douglas and Deborah Carr. Cary Grant was twice denied. Peter O'Toole went home prizeless 7 times, and Greta Garbo died Oscarless.
She was disliked at the time in Hollywood.
Get the inside story only on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday night at 7:30 on WTAE TV.
Put away the oily cheddar, baby. You know what I like. There'll be the shreds on my dinner spreads. No cheddar oil dribbling down. Shake a few flakes and that's all it takes. Oh, to make a meal go round, round, round. You just toss it on a plate and it cooks up great. And it melts much better. Doesn't drip like cheddar. Makes your entree smooth and all your dishes move. What a meal. Velveeta, it's a what I like.
When a recipe calls for cheddar, toss on something better. Velveeta Shredded.
Behold, the Sherman Shuffle. The Rod and Roll. Hey, the Oak Tree. Nike. Foot Locker. Take a lesson. Talking to me?
Nike at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
From Hidden Valley, a deliciously different approach to dinner. Introducing Hidden Valley fresh frozen entrees. Different because ingredients have never been so fresh. Only our deep dish casserole lets you steam food fresh. So the vegetables are crisp, the meat moist, seafood savory, and the pasta perfection. New Hidden Valley entrees. If they didn't come frozen, you'd swear they were fresh.
Hi, got any microwaves, Bob? Just cooking at Tony's Microwave Pizza, Bob. Couldn't wait to get home. Bob, you make a better door than you do a window, Bob.
Down to the Final Four in the NCAA. Any surprises?
Well, I think Kansas is a surprise. I don't think a lot of people thought that they would get there. And, of course, Pitt fans are saying, hey, maybe the Panthers, if they'd have played hard in that game, could have beaten Kansas. 60 teams will watch along with the rest of the nation as the NCAA tourney arrives at Indianapolis next weekend for college basketball's Final Four. The ACC had a nice Palm Sunday. The league sent 2 representatives to the Hoosier Dome to join UNLV in Kansas. And one of those, well, it was North Carolina defeating Temple 75-72. Tar Heels with a great start. King Rice, who later was to hit some big free throws, early on a 3-pointer, Tar Heels by 5. The Temple and Mark Macon came back, Macon scoring 15 of Temple's first 16 points. That gives the Owls a 1-point lead. North Carolina had the inside controlled most of the time. Alley-oop, Rick Fox, 35-30, Carolina at halftime. Tar Heels built an 11-point lead in the second half. George Lynch on the alley-oop. But Strickland for Temple decides that he's going to follow Jam like you just can't picture. Wham! Temple kind of hung around for a while and made it tough. Lynch does it again with a good follow and a step through. Temple in trouble, but Mark Macon hits a three-pointer with 8 seconds left to make it a one-point game. And then trailing by 3, Macon with another try at 4 seconds. If it goes in, we go to overtime. It does not. Macon had 31, redeemed himself from a terrible performance 2 years ago. Carolina goes on to play Kansas and is headed to the Final Four.
They're a great team. You know, they have a lot of key weapons, like Coach said the other day, in a lot of key places. And when one guy goes out, another guy with a gun and a bullet comes in.
Midwest Regional at the Silver Dome. It was Duke over St. John's, 78-61. Duke came out early and strong. Thomas Hill with a follow-up slam. The Blue Devils playing good defense and good offense, as Lou Carnesecca pointed out in the postgame. Malik Sealy kept the Redmen close early. Jumper cuts it to 4. But Duke then pulled away. Robert Werdan, a leg problem. Jason Buchanan, an injury. Bobby Hurley from three-point land. Blue Devils by 7. Then Grant Hill gets the jam off the fast break. Duke goes on a 14-4 run to control the game. Hurley again in the first half three-pointer. Duke takes a 40-26 halftime lead. Blue Devils cruise to their 4th straight Final Four, 78-61 over St. John's, and it's Duke against UNLV in the rematch of last year's final. Well, the Penguins must play 3 of their Final Four games on the road. Tuesday it's Philly, Wednesday it's Detroit, back home Saturday against the Flyers, and Sunday night at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. That'll be the battle for first place. Let's check the NHL scoreboard. First of all, Washington tied Boston today 3-3 in overtime. Washington now trails the Pens by 6 points. 1-1 third period. Ray Bourque nets his 19th goal. 2-1 Bruins. It was 3-2 Bruins when Kelly Miller deflects the puck past Andy Moog, and the Caps gain a 3-3 tie. They have 77 points. We had a tough loss for Philadelphia. Buffalo hung it on the Flyers 6-2. Look at this one. The Rangers tonight, they defeat the Islanders 3-1, but they lose 2 players. Ray Shepard, a separated shoulder. Mike Gartner, their leading goal scorer, goes to the hospital for observation. 1-1 third period, Isles and the Rangers. Brian Leach cranks up a slap shot. Brian Mullen with the rebound, 2-1 Rangers. 17 seconds later, a breakaway for recently recalled Corey Millen. He gets his first NHL goal. That makes it 3-1 Rangers. You want to know how to finish a check? Well, Neil Broughton's going to show you on Wayne McBee. That's how you finish a check. I mean, you get rid of your man. 3-1 Rangers. Rangers trail the Pens by 1 in the standings. In other action, it was the Los Angeles Kings over Edmonton, 4-3 final in overtime. This afternoon, Chicago took care of Minnesota 5-4. Let's take a look at the Patrick Division. Pens have a 1-point lead, but they have a game in hand on the Rangers. Washington now in 3rd place, 6 behind the Penguins. And then that battle for that playoff spot is really tough. The Devils with 76 points and the Flyers with 75. The World League of American Football made its ABC TV debut Sunday with a fray from Barcelona, which is in Spain. But the telecast, thank goodness, was in English. In a mild upset, the Barcelona Dragons, coached by Jack Bicknell, beat up on the New York, New Jersey Knights, coached by Mouse Davis. It was 19-7. Former Temple star Paul Palmer with a nice, nifty 17-yard run which led to the score. It was a 1-yard touchdown. Point after no good. Dragons took a 6-0 lead. Later in the second quarter, Scott Ernie, who used to play at Rutgers, steps back, hits Gene Taylor in the same 42-yard touchdown. Barcelona wins its World League American Football debut 19-7. Pirate President Carl Barger said Sunday that the club is in the process of contacting Bobby Bonilla's agent in attempts to reach a long-term agreement. You know, Bonilla turned down the Bucs' 4-year offer for $16 million. Then he refused to sign a 1-year deal for $3.1. Agent Dennis Gilbert says he wants his client to get $17.9 over 4 years plus a no-trade clause. Meanwhile, today at McKechnie, Doug Drabeck gave up just 1 hit in a scoreless 5-inning stint. The Bucs beat the Phils 4-2. The U.S. F&G Pro Golf Tournament in New Orleans. Ian Woosnam from the British Isles jumped out in front of the pack early. Birdie at 12 got him 14 under par. The third-round leader, Jim Hallett, made a charge. He moves to 12 under at the 14th hole. Tom Seekman in the hunt, but he made a critical mistake on that tough 18th hole. He yanked the tee shot, and it's going to go into the wah-wah.
And he's in the water.
After Woosnam bogeyed 18 to fall to -13, Hallett needed a birdie to force sudden death, and this approach shot at 18 assured him that birdie he stuck it stony. I mean close. But on the second hole of sudden death, Hallett needed this par putt to make the match continue. He missed it, and Ian Woosnam wins the USF&G tournament in New Orleans by one shot in sudden death. They're always won by.
Like them when they're close.
Yes.
More exciting that way. Thanks, Bill. Nearly 200 of the area's artists and craftsmen gathered in Monroeville today to show off their wares. The annual Easter Arts and Crafts Show, which is one of the largest in the Pittsburgh area, featured pottery and ceramics and spring and Easter decorations. And speaking of Easter, coming up, everyone's favorite bunny comes hopping along. That story next.
WTAE4 News salutes the veterans of Operation Desert Storm.
The total number of cheese puffs that you've eaten during championship wrestling and church picnics would add up to one profound puff. But you still wouldn't have a taste as big as these little Gino's pizza rolls. A tremendous taste of zesty pizza and a hot little bite-sized snack. A taste so big, it makes cheese puffs seem a little flat. Gino's Pizza Rolls, the pizza way to snack.
It's the best time ever to get a Mazda. Get a Mazda RX-7 now, and factory-to-dealer incentives can save you up to $2,000. Get a Mazda 929 now, and you can also save up to $2,000. They're some of our best deals ever, but they won't last forever. Right time, right cars, right deals.
At these local Mazda dealers now.
Mighty Dog presents Mighty Dogs. Pound for pound, these guys use up more energy than most dogs twice their size. That's why we make Mighty Dog. It has the perfect balance of nutrients to help them be their best. Mighty Dog. It does big things for little dogs.
Hold it, ho, ho, ho. So you're gonna finally meet Cindy, huh? Tonight. Good. So first impressions are very important. I think. Okay. Now, imagine. Lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this.
What is this? She's got dandruff?
No, you have dandruff.
No,
yes, you
I
do.
shampoo every day.
You can shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter.
Brains out?
Yeah, well, so use that.
Head and Shoulders?
Works for me, my friend.
But you don't have dandruff.
Exactamundo!
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
The Easter Bunny made his presence known at McGee Women's Hospital. Lots of eager children lined up with baskets in hand for the first Easter egg hunt for employees' children. Aside from getting to meet and have their picture taken with their favorite bunny, the kids also got to make crafts and have their faces painted. It's like a lot of fun, yeah. Hey, we want to wish Albie Oxenrider a happy wedding anniversary, his first.
That's right. Many more to come.
And that's why he's not here today.
And also to his wife.
That's it.
Yes, and his wife, too. I'm sorry. That's very important. That's our late Sunday report. Thanks for staying up with us. Our next report is right here tomorrow morning, beginning at 5. Good night.
This closed-captioned newscast has been a presentation of WTAE4 News.